I'm going to talk about XRP, and I'm going to lay out this question. Do you believe that the current run-up in XRP, as you can see here, is due to recent accomplishments or possibly just some hype and FOMO, fear of missing out? This is crypto for the rest of us. I do this 6 days a week, tip, tool, or coin analysis. My disclaimer is, and this is obvious, I'm a big dumb animal. Don't do what I do, informational purposes only. I always say whether or not I own it, and I do own XRP. Let's talk just briefly here. This is a chart of XRP, and here in November, actually it looks like it was around the 6th or the 7th, or maybe the 8th, it broke above 50 cents, went to 60 cents. So in November, did I say it was November 2nd or December 2nd? It's December 2nd when I'm recording this. December 3rd when it's going to be live, I guess. Okay. So in about 2/3 of November, it ran from roughly 50 cents to $2.70 over that actually. So let's just say 5x, 50 cents, 55 cents to 250, it's a 5x. And if you look at the list of highest market caps, it's number 3. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. That is impressive. And by the way, there have been people that have been saying for years that it would get there, and they're right. It hit $155 billion behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's where it currently sits at 272 at the time of this taping. Okay, personally, I've made videos about XRP for a while, starting out with one just explaining the differences between XRP and Ripple. We'll talk about that in many, many videos. Some of my videos, I should say, are just talked about the hype that was out there. People pushing that, hey, it's going to get to $1,000 or what was one, $2,200, 60 trillion in market cap, stuff like that, which I thought was just a little out there. So I've discussed it in many ways. I do own it. I have owned it. It's not one of my biggest cryptos. And let's get into why. And I'll put a link down below to the playlist if you're interested, particularly the video that if you're not sure you understand, I'll get into the basics, but the differences between, say, Ripple and XRP, that one's very informative. It's worth, I think, looking at it. So why am I doing this video? Not because I'm going to say I know where it's going. No, I want you to be informed, just like I like to be informed. And I was doing all this research myself. Actually, most of my videos are just because I'm being very, selfish. I create all this research for myself so I can hopefully make a bunch of money, and I just share it with you. I'm not making a call one way or the other. I'm showing you what I happen to know. Many people know more. I get all kinds of comments whenever I make an XRP video, and it's clear to me people know a lot because I get a lot of comments like, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, you're a dummy. That makes no sense. Those are my favorite ones. Very informative. But others actually point out things like, hey, did you know they're doing this? Or did you know they're doing that? Those are helpful. All right. I personally took some profits. I sold some. Not all, but some. I got over $2.70, which was greater than a 5x for me. If you've been watching my channel, I sell in chunks. In other words, if I'm hoping it's going to be whatever crypto it is, a 10x return, I might sell, let's just keep it simple, 5x, 10x, 15x. Something like that. Things change all the time, targets, because the market's changing all the time. Some of these have gotten to market caps here in December that I didn't think were going to happen until maybe January or February. Things change, they change fast. So I did sell some. I hit 5x. I thought that was excellent. I hope it continues to move. Now, what I looked at were a couple different things, but let me first tell you a story I talked about in my previous one, and there's a reason, in a previous video. Years ago, I went to raise money, and my mentor said to me, hey, check this out. And he said, look, obviously, when you're raising money, the higher valuation you can get, if you go in and say, hey, I think my company's worth $5 million, and they give you $1 million, that's better than you go and say, my company's worth $1 million, and they give you $1 million, because they're going to get half your company. Post money would be $1 million plus their $1 million, that's $2 million. They get half, you get half. Okay, so you want a high valuation. So you need to convince them of things you're going to do in the future so that they see it and say, wow, I really think that's going to do well. So his comment was, companies are worth the most before you do anything or after you've done everything. Point was, We're going to tell them everything we're going to do. They're going to come up with a valuation, hopefully that's really high, because they think we can do these great things, and so do we, quite honestly. But then we're going to start operating the business, and then the metrics hit. Sales, customers, whatever metrics you're looking at. And then once you have metrics, then you can start valuing the company, and it's often not as much as before you did anything. When's it worth the most? Well, after you've done everything you set out to do. Okay, there's a point in that. The point is that sometimes, if you haven't really done anything yet, people will buy into the idea that you will be the biggest thing in the world. So the question here is, again, has XRP done some amazing things in this November? Some incredible accomplishments and news that have come out and blown everyone's mind? Or do they just happen to have an amazing community of individuals, a lot of investors over a long period of time? So let's get in to answer that exact question. All right, I'm sure a lot of you know the basics, so let me just go over it again. The background. 2012, the company was named OpenCoin. That's how they started. About a year later, they changed to either Ripple and Ripple Labs or vice versa. They changed it. They raised venture capital. They actually got investment, I think close to 300 million. Some was clawed back once they got sued, but they've taken money from venture capitalists. So it's not just the company involved, it's venture capitalists involved. It's probably a much lower price than way lower than it is now, I would assume. And then they also did an ICO, initial coin offering. Of course they did, because that's what they were sued for. Then they continue to use the XRP for money. They can sell up to $1 billion worth. They have currently somewhere between 30 and 40 billion XRP on their balance sheet. Ripple, the company, owns some XRP. They can sell up to $1 billion a month. Typically, they don't sell it all. Some goes back in the treasury. But if they were to sell 1 billion XRP per month, it might last like 36 months. If it's at $3, they sell $1 billion, that's $3 billion. Imagine you having a company with an operating budget of $3 billion a year. Do you think you could do great things? You better, because if you didn't, you should be fired. But they don't sell that much, but they could. Okay, so they use it for operations, for partnerships, whatever it may be. Ripple, as I mentioned, Ripple is a private company with stock. XRP is a cryptocurrency. They're different. You got to know that. They're not the same. When you read articles, they will often interchange Ripple and XRP, and that drives me crazy. Some do it because they don't understand it, and some do it, I think, on purpose to confuse you. Ripple, the company, and again, this is all in a video I've got, but essentially they have this solution called RippleNet. It's their cross-border payment solution, moving money across borders. Their targets have been large companies, institutions, you name it. 2 people in about 2013 at Ripple left and said, we're going to start XLM, Stellar Lumens. XLM is to do cross-border payments, but their market is going after the masses, the people sending small amounts of money, and they're tired of getting hit with these ridiculous fees to send money to family and that sort of thing. Work here, send money back there, and all of a sudden they take a big chunk of it. So that's kind of split. That's how XRP and XLM, very similar technologies, different target markets. So RippleNet Ripple has RippleNet. They use the XRP to move money cross-border. It's sent from one to another. Converted, let's say USD to XRP, shoot it over there. They get the XRP, they turn it into euros, done. Happens fast. The idea being it happens so fast that if there's a change in value, you're not going to lose or make money. Hopefully. Here's the big question that a lot of people don't understand. Does Ripple have to use XRP? No. They could stop using it right now, never use it again. Everything would work fine. By the way, they're coming out with a stable coin. That's interesting. Not saying they're going to displace XRP, but they could. Because when the SEC's lawsuit was going on against Ripple, they weren't moving money in the US using XRP, but I did read an article that they did move money in the US. They just used a different coin. So they can they can execute their business model using RippleNet as a cross-border payment solution without using XRP. They can, they have, they might, who knows? I'm not saying they will. Just know that. Okay. And of course, because of the legal case, XRP wasn't being used in the US. Now, let's talk about, that's the background, the difference between Ripple, the difference between XRP. Let's talk about accomplishments. They've been in business, this is 2024, for 12 years. They've been in business as a cross-border payment solution provider. Go online, Google it. How much money do they send? And how many transactions do they do in a month? I have no idea. Can't find it anywhere. They may have put out numbers 4 or 5 years ago. But if you look recently in 2024, November 2024, if anyone can find that information, please send it to me. I'm dying to know that this company that has been operating for 12 years as a cross-border payment solution, and people are pushing it as the holy grail, someone knows how much they're doing in transactions. I'd love to know, because it must be astronomical if they're worth $150 billion. I can't find that information. So that goes to their accomplishments. I can't find any November accomplishments, October accomplishments, August accomplishments. I can find some of their uses. I did a video recently about uses. Let me just pull up that picture here. It's like a screenshot there. That's my amazing editing. So I said, look, XRP is a cross-border payment solution. That's number one use. People have talked about it as being used as a currency. It's not currently being used as a currency like a fiat, but it could be, as they say. Store of value. They compare it to Bitcoin. They can be used for RWA tokenization. They came up with a solution called Ripple Custody, where they actually hold some of the tokens on behalf of others. Then they're coming out with the Ripple USD, the stablecoin. Will that displace XRP? I don't know. So those are some of the uses that have been talked about in the past. Then I did a video about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, if this pumps, I think it'll pump because of this reason. It looks like they're doing a 180-degree turn. For 12 years, they've been promoting themselves as cross-border payment solutions, yet they put out a document, I think it was in their Q3 report for 2024, referencing this technical document, that by 2025, they're going to have two major changes. They were going to add smart contracts, native smart contracts, and an EVM sidechain. What does it mean? In other words, some functionality such that they can compete with other layer ones like in Ethereum. All right. So that's some of the uses and some of the upcoming things. Like I was saying earlier, that's the before you do anything sort of, wow, look at what the potential is. Maybe that's driving the price. I can't answer for sure. Let's talk about the community. The community is amazing. Google Trends shows you with a term you put in the amount of searches. This is 90 days for the search term XRP. So people go to Google, they type in, they search XRP. Pretty flat, September, October, beginning of November starts to take off. Look at that trajectory of search terms. Did these searches come before XRP pumped, after it pumped, while it pumped? It kind of coincides. So Google searches, maybe this is because the price started moving, but check this out. Lunar Crush is a site and service, it's excellent, that shows you many different things, but it's really good at looking at, let's say, mentions. And they posted on Twitter this graph of XRP and the amount of mentions over time. You go to Twitter, or I guess Reddit, other places, X.com, Reddit, other places, and you mention XRP, it's saying how many people are doing that, how often. Look how flat it was in 22. In 2023, it started taking off. Look at this. From 2023, it went from there to there. That's a nice swing up. And the price didn't move all that much. And then 2024, it took off. And then recently, it really went parabolic. However, all of this was 2 years before the price really took off. And the community's big. How big? Another individual, great name, Lucky Luciano, said that according to Lunar Crush, he saw that 6% of social activity across crypto was attributed to XRP. So of all of the crypto, and there's 10, 20,000 tokens, whatever it is, and there's 400 or 500 that have decent value, and this one XRP had 6% of all of the mentions over social media. It tells you the community is amazing. All right, so some people say, hey, I invest in something, and when the world starts talking about it, that's kind of when I want to get out. When the person at the grocery store is talking about it that I talk to, when my barber's talking about it, I don't have a barber, whatever it may be. So I wanted to show you, this is a YouTube video called Real Estate Mindset. I believe the gentleman's name is Travis. I love watching his show. He has a great way about him. He does a lot of research. He puts on an excellent show, mainly real estate stuff. I think that's what he's predominantly always done. And he happened to have here a video which had XRP on it. And this was just 5 hours ago. And it said XRP skyrockets. Okay, so he's a very smart individual, yet he mainly focuses on real estate. Although he's talking about, for the first time I've seen some crypto, and it's XRP. A lot of people talking about it. So XRP has an amazing community. A lot of people are talking about it. Also, when we talked about your company's worth the most before it does anything, yes, they're cross-border payments, but I couldn't find any information on how much they've done in November or any other month. So I don't really know where that's going. I haven't seen any of their accomplishments in November, but we do know that there's a new administration coming in, that the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler's gone, and that those lawsuits look like they're coming to an end. So a lot of people might be thinking or saying, finally, XRP has not been able to do what they set out to do, at least in the US. Because of this issue, they've been held back. Now all the barriers are gone. Now they can take off and go to the moon. We'll see if that's true or not. That seems to be possibly one of the sentiments pushing the price up. So the conclusion here is, I'm going to leave this up to you. Do you believe during the month of November, when XRP took off and did a 5x, it went from 50 cents to over $2.50. Do you believe that's due to all of the accomplishments they've had in November or this year, of which I personally can't find? If you have them, you know them, please tell me. I'm talking about actual things they've done and numbers, like how much they do in cross-border payments. Did it go up 200% over last month or last year? Can't find any of that data. If you've got it, let us know. Or do you think it could possibly be because they have an amazing community, a lot of investors, and people that want it to go up? They do have investors, venture capitalists. They do have a lot of wallet holders. And as you can see from Lunar Crush, a lot of people talking about it on social media, and a 6% market share, if you will, of all discussions around crypto. I put this together not to tell you that I think it's doing this or doing that. Like I've said before, I own some and I sold some. Not all of it, but some. Do I think it can continue to go higher? It might. That's why I'm hanging on to some. You make your own decisions, but know what you own, understand how it works. Check out my playlist if it helps you to understand the differences between Ripple and XRP, but always know what you own, watch what the market's doing, and make good decisions, because in my opinion, it's harder to sell, at least for me. I find selling much harder than buying. I buy stuff like that. I sell stuff, I think, should I keep it? Should I hold it? Should I not? So I make sell levels, that sort of thing. But then I try to hold myself to it because I need to be able to execute the plan that I set out. That's me. You do you. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. I always say, I hope we can make generational wealth together with crypto. Thanks for watching.